And hello! We are now, well, queuing up for a couple of instances here, looking at the new role quest that we unlocked by doing all of the role quests from Endwalker. So that was the caster, healer, ranged, I think? No, that was ranged. Doman was ranged. Olda was healer. Gridania was tank. And Limsa was melee. But if you finish all of these role quests, you now unlock in 6.1 a new quest, which we are going to underdo now. Shurabat, Bitter Snow. And we see the leaders of the six, quote-unquote, 6 cities over here. So let's have a look. Well, if it isn't Laverne, all around a good egg and champion of, well, the whole world, I suppose. World travels fast, my friend. We've heard all about your exploits defeating the blasphemies that like the good people of Eorzea and Dodoma. Sadly, they are the fell beasts that want for slaying, but fear not. Our efforts to bring them low proceed apace, and we've had naught but glad tidings from our allies. In fact, we but recently received word from the resistance forces in Borgia that the blasphemy was slain, thanks in no small part to Lord Hien's timely assistance. Nice. Perhaps the most surprising report came from Wurlitz, where soldiers led by the infamous Black Wolf fought alongside Alamegan troops for yet another hard-earned victory. Reports from Garlemald, however, suggest another blasphemy threat lurks in the snows, and we received a petition for assistance. Oh, interesting. Strange, don't you think? When the effects of the final days began to spread in earnest, we encountered a great many monsters in Garlemald, but never a blasphemy. And to make matters worse, they say the Guardians who choose to remain and rebuild have begun transforming into yet more hideous creatures. From what I understand, it was you and your comrades who brought an end to the source of the final days. Is that right? Even so, it would appear its effects will linger a while longer. Until this until this bad influence on Akasha subsides, I dare say this won't be the last time we hear of such sightings. As for the blasphemy, we have reason to believe it is a great deal stronger than any we've faced thus far. Your strength and experience would prove quite valuable, if you're willing to help, of course. Why, of course I'll help. Truly? Our contacts in Charlian will be thrilled to hear it, though they did not explicitly request your presence. It was clear from the first they were hoping for it. Well, if I may be frank, I was not expecting Charlian of all places to be so concerned with the present state of Garlemald, what with their strict policies of non-intervention. Perhaps we'll find out the reason before this is all over. But that's an inquiry for another time. I won't keep you any longer. Once you arrive in Garlemald, I should think the intelligence officer stationed there will be more than happy to apprise you of the situation. Let's go. Camp Broken Glass, I assume, is where we are going. Oh yeah. Laverne? The Laverne? It's an honor to have you with us, sir. I presume you come to assist in our hunt for the blasphemy? Maxima and Lucia will be pleased to hear it. If it come this way. It's good to see you, Laverne, though I wish it were under more fortuitous circumstances. We're reluctant to call upon you, knowing you but recently returned from the far reaches of the heavens, but we are no less glad for your aid. Now then, I believe it is best if the man who first discovered this blasphemy explained the situation. Ah, Laverne, good. We may forego introductions then. Thank you for answering our call for assistance. As for the situation at hand, it concerns a joint effort between the Forum and the Loperids to find new purpose for the moon. While there is no longer need for a vessel to evacuate the star, we believe the moon may yet prove of use to the people of Ephesus. After much contemplation, a rather ingenious proposal was put forward to transform the moon into a repository for man's knowledge, an archive of hitherto unseen scale. Makes sense. Charlian has long had the honor of boasting incomparable repositories of the world's knowledge, but is far from perfect. Should calamity befall us, natural or otherwise, the wisdom of ages we have long labored to preserve would be lost. But the moon is beyond any such risk. What's more, it is beyond the jurisdiction of any one nation. Thus did we consult the allied nations of Eorzea, the Far East, and Razad Han. They agreed to assembling a survey team to take measures of the moon and its potential as a repository. Our plans for assessment were forestalled, however, by the presence of an entity we believe to be a blasphemy in the Tower of Babel. Claims of Guardian citizens transforming into monsters shortly after its discovery only gave further credence to our initial supposition. But we've not only ill tidings to share. Reinforcements have been dispatched to aid us in quelling the blasphemy threats. Lord Atterell and a member of Gridania's Keepers of the Entwined Serpents have already begun an investigation into the catalyst of these transformations. Though the skies no longer burn, and the spread of this affliction is much curtailed, we must remain vigilant. Until the blasphemy threat has been quelled, Alfina and Alize have graciously offered to help keep calm the people of Tertium while we attend to the people here. But the matter of the blasphemy is not so easily resolved, I am afraid. We recently met with certain complications that have hindered our plan. Eugili and Fodora are presently deliberating how best to resolve the situation. Perhaps it would be best if you heard the details directly from them. I should like to join you, if I may, as this endeavor was originally undertaken on Charlian's behalf. I feel it is my responsibility to see this through to its conclusion. Makes sense. Okay. You see... Oh, that's a player. I was like, wait a second. Huh. Somehow I should have known you would turn up eventually. Excuse me? I didn't expect to see you here of all places, but I am no less glad for your presence. I presume word of the blasphemy is what brought you here, in which case I believe it may be best if a member of the reconnaissance team's guard explained the situation. What are you doing here? An acquaintance of yours? Long time no see, Lawrence. I heard tell you were the worldly sort, but bugger me if I know where you heard my name before. I'm just a lowly sword for hire, hoping to fatten my purse with a touch of mercenary work after taking my leave from Limsa. The job sounded simple enough, but, well, I'm sure you wouldn't be here if it were, right? But you didn't come all this way to hear about me, did you? The blasphemy we're after is... Jesus. The blasphemy we're after is making its nest in the upper reaches of the Tower of Babel. The auxiliary sector, I believe it was. But it wasn't alone. A sizable horde of beasts were circling about like knights protecting their queen. Actually, we thought to strike from a distance before engaging in earnest, but not a single bullet reached its mark. They were protected by some manner of mystical shroud, as far as I could figure. I've had a keen eye for magic, didn't see anyone getting through. By the time we understood the futility of the situation, we'd been spotted. Retreat was our only option. Pains me to say it, but there won't be any brute forcing our way through this one. My understanding was that, once transformed, these blasphemies are completely devoid of ether. With what energies could it create such a barrier? That's the question, isn't it? My first thought was some hitherto unknown technique for conjuring shields. Needless to say, I'm out of my depth when it comes to matters of magic. Which is precisely why I plan to speak with the Elder Seatseer when she arrives. If anyone can help us find a way to overcome the blasphemy's protection, it's her. In the meantime, could we trouble you to help with the not-so-small matter of people changing into beasts? The blasphemy's horde was large enough when first we found it. We can't afford for more to join its ranks. Very well, we shall reconvene with our Lord Attarel and discuss strategy. Before you go, there's something else you should know about the tower. From the moment we set foot inside, I could swear there was someone, or something, watching us. I shrugged it off, thinking it a figment of my imagination, but in hindsight, I'm not so sure. Nothing to worry ourselves about now, but best keep on your guard when we do finally return to the tower, eh? Lord Ian will be arriving ere long, aptly dressed for the cold, I should hope. Gusetsu would no doubt count himself fortunate to be absent if he knew we were here. Runwald sends his regards, by the way. He asked me to tell you not to push yourself, but we all know what a waste of breath that will prove to be. Ain't that right? Gods, what I'll give for a nice hot bowl of soup. Yeah, you're used to Limsa. That would be a tad different in climate. Okay, let's talk to Fortuno and Lord Arturel. Of course, the Keeper of the Entwined Serpents. It would appear that investigation into the recent reports of refugees transforming is well underway. Good. Under normal circumstances, I would never dream of leaving the Elder Seatseer aside, but... Oh, it's you. Hi. But considering the nature of these blasphemies and the calamity they bring, she insisted a representative for Gridania precede her arrival. Alright. Laverne, it's good to have you with us, my friend. Indeed, the road before us is not an easy one, and a man of your talents will prove invaluable to our efforts. We but recently returned from reconnaissance, wherein we made a few rather surprising discoveries. First and foremost, we were pleased to discover that no one residing within Camp Broken Glass or Tertium have turned, no doubt thanks to the concerted efforts of Maxima, Alfino, and Alize. However, we have reason to believe those who did turn all hail from Locus Ammonis. You mean Corvus, the Gallian's ancestral home? The very same. When the ill effects of the final days began to manifest there, a number of Gallian refugees from the region sought sanctuary in Garlemald. But the capital was already in ruins when they arrived. They were offered asylum, but many refused and instead chose to fend for themselves on the outskirts of the city. We are of a mind to go and speak with them directly if you would care to join us. Perhaps together we can learn what of their recent circumstances has triggered such terrible change among their people. Interesting. I'm not Guardian by blood, but having been raised in the Imperial provinces, I would be lying if I said I am not moved by their plight. Locus Amonis suffered greatly in the wake of the final days. It's only natural they would have sought shelter at the capital. Can but imagine their horror upon arrival. Frozen Hope. Time being of the essence, I believe it prudent we split into 2 groups and cover as much ground as we may, as quickly as possible. If you, Master Fortuneau, would inquire after the people at Victor's spoils, the 2 of us shall see what we may learn at Liminal Station 4. When you have finished, pray meet us there. Okay. Victor's spoils is to the east of here, yes? Let us be off. Okay. I was hoping that we would either have the opportunity to test out if we can actually mount up and people follow us, or if he would just, you know, do what he did here. Right. I can still be targeted by enemies. Just gonna wait until there's the aggros. That they should choose to reside here in the cold, I can but presume they will not be amenable to conversation. Even so, we must not be deterred. Come. I remember going here. Certainly a interesting part of the story. Talk? What is there to talk about? We've no home, no future, nothing. This doom spells the end of us all. How did it come to this? Come to hear our grievances, have you? Huh. Even more than you have time to hear them, I'm sure. We've lost not 1, but 2 homes, our loved ones, our livelihood. There's nothing left. I served my time with the military eye. For what? To lose all my friends, my son, and there was naught to show for it but our claim to Locus Amonis. Or so we thought. Calamity was visited upon us for reasons we know not, and when we thought to flee, it followed on our heels to Garlemald, ruin and ash at every turn. What are we to do with nothing left to live for? Shall we meet back here when we have finished? Yeah, sure. Can't imagine why you or anyone else would feign interest in our troubles, but if you insist. You'll find a great many of the people here were in the military at one time or another, some retiring with honors and others without. Sadly, I am one of the latter, bore 1 too many scars in battle. Even so, my contributions were enough to warrant leave to move to Locus Amonis. It was a land of warmth and bounty. The Kovosi rebellion, admittedly, proved troublesome for a time, but it didn't take long for the Second Legion to quell their uprising. You could practically drown in the calm and quiet. And then one day the skies came alive with flame. We were overrun by all manner of foul beasts born of our brothers and sisters. The Second Legion barely had time to assemble their forces before they were overrun and snuffed out. We barely escaped with our lives. But we were greeted only with more wreck and ruin on our arrival here, and we've not the strength to take our home back from the Kovosi a second time. There's nothing left for us anywhere. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to be alone right now. Did you learn aught of how they came to be in such dire straits? Well... I see. I've heard much of the same. The military forces of Locus Lamonas were defeated in the wake of the final days. Desperate to survive, they naturally fled to Garlemald, seeking sanctuary. It was their hope the might of the Empire would allow them to reclaim the home they were forced to abandon. The capital was already in ruin when they arrived. Needless to say, the lands they have long believed to be ancestral home of the Garlean people may remain forever lost to them. Those unfamiliar with history would believe they have always resided in the bitter cold climes of northern Ilsebard, but that was only after the Kovosi invaded 800 years prior. With the advent of Magitech, I imagine it was all too easy for Emperor Solus to rally his people and take back what they believed to be rightfully theirs. Yet, history would tell us true that the land they call Locus Amonas has been known by other names and served as home to myriad peoples. Indeed, one need only look back to the Elegant's reign in the Third Astral Era to give the lie to Guardian claims of serenity. Yet, even had they such ancestral ties to Locus Amonas, antecedents cannot justify their animosity to foreign peoples. Animosity poorly veiled by delusions of justice, as has been the case for so many nations throughout history. Would that man had the sense and strength of will to break free from such chains of hatred. Help! Someone help! They've returned! Another monster. Quickly, everyone. We haven't a moment to lose. Alright, let's go. Gods, what happened? One of my mates seemed unwell, so I thought to come over and look in on him. Next thing I knew, no one appears to be injured. Did he not attack? He just walked off in the direction of the tower, in a daze, as if it was calling to him. We could not have gone far. If you would go after him, I will remain here and see that all are accounted for. Have we not suffered enough? I will see to matches here. Go and find that beast before it can reach the tower. Sure. Found it. Okay, done and done. Thankfully, easy enough. Oh, didn't check the map. I just thought he would have been at the same place he was before, but he did indeed move. The beast is slain then. Thank the heavens. For a blessing no others have turned, and the measure of calm has been restored, if only for the moment. Witnesses were able to offer a clue as to the source of the transformation. They claim the afflicted was listening to this radio. Even now it continues to play the same cryptic message. Oh. Empire no more, never again, rise, ashes. Though distorted by radio static, you can hear a voice saying, "The Empire is no more, never again shall it rise from the ashes." But how is this possible? There are no facilities left standing that could possibly deliver a broadcast. Anima was capable of sending such messages. Yeah? Literally just Anima. Be that as it may, Anima is no more, and the Tower of Babel has fallen into disrepair by your hand, no less. Which begs the question, who, or perhaps what, could be behind this? Laverne, Master Fortuneau, a moment, if you will. Oh, hello there. Shortly after we finished our inquiry at Liminal Station 4, Lord Emmerich and Admiral Merwhip arrived and requested an audience. Isn't that interesting that the leaders of nations ask us for an audience? Anyway, apologies for our late arrival. Knowing firsthand the devastation of which blasphemies are capable, I discussed the matter with the Admiral, and we were of one mind that the situation warranted our immediate presence. It is safe to presume a representative of the survey team has already arrived. Indeed, I have. Thank you for coming all this way on such short notice. Recent events here at the camp have proved most enlightening. And this is the aforementioned radio. Empire no more, never again rise, ashes. A harsh reminder of their misfortune, sufficient to push someone wayward few over the edge, it would seem. Yet there still remains the question of who is sending this message, and from where. Glory everlasting Garlemald. For glory everlasting for Garlemald. No, it couldn't be. You recognize this message? A mantra often spoken by Lord Nerva. Anyone who lived in the provinces under his authority could scarcely forget those words. Oh. He sought to claim the throne after the assassination of Emperor Varus, did he not? After Civil War broke out, he all but disappeared according to the intelligence we managed to gather. How could he have managed to breach the tower undetected? To have done so and remain unnoticed by the creatures infesting the tower seems a nigh impossible task. Unless... I mean, my question would be... 3. Do you think Nerva is the blasphemy? I'm gonna go with this one. I do, and as it was with Anima, those radios are somehow attuned to whatever signal it emits from the tower. What's more, I believe the true identity of the blasphemy is Nerva, thank you. Robbed of the throne and forced to watch the empire he longed to command crumble before his very eyes, if such loss did not drive him to the same fate as Quintus, the despair he felt no doubt overcame and turned him. Nerva's delusions of grandeur aside, the Guardian's plight sounds not unlike the Sahagin, desperate to preserve their spawning grounds. Indeed, though unscrupulous by any measure, the Guardians found solidarity in their ideology. As did the people of Ishgard and the Church, adrift without home or purpose, it is all too easy for despair to take hold. Would that a remedy were as simple as offering them land as we did the Sahagan? In all likelihood, the Guardians would refuse to settle for aught less than what they believed to be their ancestral homeland of Locus Amonis, a claim the Corvosi would readily take arms to denounce, but would do well not to further fan the flames of animosity betwixt them. And perhaps at the very least we can offer them peace of mind and a means to regain some semblance of stability in their lives. To offer them true confidence stability, Garlemald kinda has to be rebuilt. That is true. Similarly as we did with Ishgard. By no means an easy solution, but perhaps the only one worthy of pursuit. Of course, this new Garlemald must remain a sovereign nation, free from the oversight of others. I would see no meaning in it otherwise. Same as we didn't see any meaning with being ruled over by Garlemald on the other hand. So, yeah. If I'm... Sorry. If I'm not mistaken, Arthur and Alize have already made strides in helping the people here regain some normalcy in their day-to-day living. A most important first step, but it will mean little without proper leadership. Rather than a single individual, perhaps a governing body of sorts would prove more effective. There are a number of former Senate members among the refugees at Camp Broken Glass, as I recall. With their help, creating the framework for new governance is not an impossibility. But let us call the people together and see what they make of our proposal.